Welcome to the 2024 Spring Split of the LCS Challengers League. This spring will feature 10 teams competing in a single round-robin best-of-3 format, and for the first time ever, we'll be implementing Fearless Drafts. If you're not familiar, Fearless Draft adds a new twist to pick and ban. Once a champion is picked by a team in the series, it cannot be picked by them again. So if Team A drafts Teemo in Game 1, they cannot play Teemo for the rest of the series. Team B could pick Teemo in Game 2, but then wouldn't be able to play him in Game 3. And like LCS, all games will be played on the live patch, so you can take what you see from the games and try them out on your own. The top 8 teams from our regular season advance to the NACL playoffs, which will feature a double elimination bracket with a mix of best-of-3 and best-of-5 matches. Alongside the NACL are 2 qualifier tournaments, which will also feature Fearless Drafts on the live patch. The bottom 2 teams from the NACL regular season will compete against the top 4 teams from the qualifiers in a promotion tournament, battling in a double elimination bracket to qualify into the NACL in summer 2024. All LCS Challengers League games and coverage will be available on twitch.tv/LCS_challengers, with matches starting right after the LCS. And as a reminder, with team revenue shares, every sub in Twitch Prime directly supports the teams and players. Another split of Challengers League begins right now, and we can't wait to see you there.
Welcome back, everyone, as we prepare for the second game of our second series of our second week of the LCS Challengers League here. Already, Supernova continuing their undefeated streak going forward. They're getting prepped for Game 2 up against Maryville University. But before we get into that, we're going to have some fun here with our Subway Best of 3 sidekick, Cubby. To break it down, we each pick one of the champions that we think a team needs to lean into going into this next game. Now, it is Fearless Draft, so we know that there's some champions that are not available to them. Cubby, I'm going to let you go first. If you had to pick a singular champion that you want to be your sidekick going into this next game for either of the teams, who are you picking and why?
All right. I want to pick Twisted Fate. He saw so many changes on the new patch. And it's not like in the camp of like buffs. Karma, where like Karma's just disgusting. I don't want to see Karma. That champion is an absolute abomination in her current form. I think the TF is also pretty strong right now. And actually hasn't really been utilized to great effect. I don't know if it can be a blind pick. I mean, you are TF, so in theory you can always be a blind pick, but I don't think we're seeing teams play TF, and I'm really on the TF train. I think that he is very strong. You have a good laning phase with like Fleet and D-Blade. You can do something like that. The auto attack resets make the melee matchups actually extremely TF favored now. Play TF in the melees at home. You destroy melees with your auto attack reset. Yeah, I actually really want to see it. I don't know why we aren't seeing it at the moment. I really want to see it.
All right, so you don't care which team picks it. You just want TF to be your sidekick.
I want some Twisted Fate. Yeah, I love casting TF games. I think it's really fun.
All right, fair enough. Well, I'm going to go a different route with this one because Maryville have their back against the wall. They need to win 2 in a row here to pick up the series win against Supernova. So I'm going to say, if I want to identify a win condition for them, I'm looking top side. I'm looking at you, Niles. You just played Ornn, one of the most boring champions you can play as a top laner. Sorry to all the Ornn mains out there and Ornn fanatics. But I want to see Niles pick something that can carry. I want to see him specifically on something like an Olaf. I think that Niles on something that can run down his lane opponent could be the key to success. So I'm picking Olaf as my sidekick here.
All right. Well, we'll see how this draft pans out. I assume we're going to see Maryville on blue side as they lost, and pretty much every team has been picking blue side for their priorities. So I don't know. I will say that game 1, I feel like things at the end got a little bit haywire, maybe a little personal between these teams. I know there's some fun history with some former teammates, but when we're seeing just honorable fights to the death on a top tier, I mean that's fun. It is entertaining League of Legends.
And you can have the level 1s.
Cleaner League of Legends, but
that's no. You got to watch LCK if you want that, Cubby. I don't know what you do. I feel like you know what you signed up for.
I can't tonight, but on almost every other night I can. You could watch some LCK Challengers League tonight, though, as the casters over there are co-streaming. We'll promote their Challengers League, That's the true sidekick to LCK, right?
Fair enough. Well, that's our Subway Best of 3 sidekicks. We got Twisted Fate coming in from Cubby. We have Olaf
Give me some
from
TF,
me.
Man.
Let us know in chat who you think should be picked in this next game for either team and your reasoning why. Would love to hear from chat. We're getting ready for pick and ban, though, for the next game. I'm curious what the teams are actually going to identify. So those are the ones that we want to see. What are some other maybe secondary choices here as we get a reminder of the Fearless Draft, what they cannot play? Maryville opted for this big combo style. They can't go back into that. And most importantly, Supernova cannot go for Tristana on Shochi.
Honestly, I think that Varus will be pretty high priority here for Maryville.
Sure.
Scary Jerry and Psycho have been playing pretty aggressive lanes so far to start off this season, and I think Varus has been high prio and likely to be seen. I actually thought that Scary Jerry put together a really nice Varus game with Maryville last week as well, and they're on both sides, so I'm kind of expecting that to start off, and maybe we start building out identities from there. Varus is way too flexible of a champion.
We don't have to wait long because we're ready for pick and ban, so let's hop into it and see what the teams are deciding. I believe Varus was banned in the first game, and that's the thing about Fearless Draft is I don't know how much the bans would change because it's never like, oh, we lost this champ, so now we have to ban it out. Well, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's just, you know, the pool has to widen throughout the series. I fully expect to see Varus banned yet again.
If not, should be an early pick for Maryville, as we haven't seen any bans like that. Okay, so now what Maryville is doing, this is pretty common with Fearless Draft, guys. So Maryville, they played Callista game 1. They're on Blue's side. They don't want to deal with the Callista. Just take it away. They can't play it. We're seeing a lot of teams start to do this. Supernova, curiously enough, taking away some of the mid-jungle duos, I think, that have been at least pretty good for Yuji and Spyrax. Like Nocturne, that's something that you oftentimes want to wombo with a mid laner in terms of like Nico Nocturne or also Nocturne Ori. Karma being taken away is no surprise. And hey, look at that. It is a Varus coming in.
Look at that.
No surprise, yeah.
You called it. It gets through the banning phase early on here because we're looking at more of the mid laners and like you highlighted that Nocturne. So what's the answer from Array and Diamond? Melia-Lucian's on the table if they want to lean into that. So far, the hovers indicate that we're going for that.
They could also take something like a Vi here, as I really like Vi into Melia-Lucian. So that is something where they could have denied that if they wanted to put Kenvi on the pick. Not going to be the case. Instead, Lucian Melia will be power picked.
Yeah.
And we'll see how Maryville responds from here. We have seen this played to good success. I mean, props to Aaron. I thought the game that he put together with Wildcard was actually a very strong Lucian game. That champ is 3-1 in our league. So having a little bit more success here than it has been in LCS. As it will be the Senna answer. A little curious. Still a lot of priority on Poke. Senna can kind of like... Senna does pretty well in the Enchantresses. You can't farm souls as easily, but you can keep them at range.
I like it in the lane itself. It's easy to gank, though, because neither Varus nor Senna really have good disengage tools.
Oh, man.
And now we're doubling down onto the Corki, too, so a lot of range from these first 3 champs.
Please pick something that like goes in or has point-and-click CC bed. Vi sounds great right now.
Yeah. Actually, Vi would be incredible. Well, wait, hear me out. Okay, you're locking the Vi. But if Yasuo's not banned, what if Supernova get Yasuo? Do we like Yasuo here now?
Doable. I don't love it.
I wasn't as powerful as a response as I was expecting.
It's doable. I mean, I would like to pair it with Maokai, but that's not an option for Supernova. It's not, can't be done. That said, Vi into triple marksman. That sounds pretty good. I do like that. That's a good start for Supernova. So that with Lucian Milio too. Whoever you press R on is Vi. If Array's able to follow that up with a nice culling, it's a lot of damage that could pepper down in the 1.
I will say, I don't think that my Subway Best of 3 sidekick is going to make an appearance anymore. I don't know if you want to go for Olaf with this kind of composition. I feel like you might need something that's a better front line.
Unironically, I'm down for TF into this, you know? You just port on bot, you know? Get pushed into Corki and port on bot.
I could see it. You don't have the Azir into the Corki. Oriana's still on the table as of right now that they want to go for it. And actually, Maryville are the ones banning away the Olaf. They take that from Faisal, who's notable for that champ, too. They took him away.
Damn, that's disappointing.
What's this? Did they see the segment and they just weren't a fan?
Yeah, I mean, I assume what's going to happen is that Niles has the blind pick because mid showing, so Supernova can just take mid on 4. So maybe trying to set up Niles' blind pick. Taking away Olaf tells me that he's going to go with tank. And looking at the chance that Maryville has so far, triple marksman. I think Niles needs to play tank this game. I don't think there's any option for damage. You're going to have to play stuff that can buy some space for those guys.
I'm looking at... I guess what's left? They already played the Ornn. Udyr? Are we happy with the Udyr here?
I think Ori's good. A good ban,
well, no, I mean for Maryville to have that
for Maryville?
tank front line.
I don't know. Let's see. Let's get some more info. Let's let Supernova pick first. I think Supernova, honestly, I wouldn't mind something. Okay, Akali. this is good. I think that Akali, there isn't enough CC on the side of Maryville yet. If Akali Vi gets in the back line, they're going to one-shot these fools, triple marksman. I like this a lot. It also makes it that the side laning of Supernova are going to be really good. You can put Akali into the Corki. You have a place to attack. Okay, we're going to have an Aatrox. Aatrox can buy some space, deals decently well with the melees, and is a pretty safe blind in the top lane for Niles.
Sure. I just wonder why not the Udyr. It was on the table. I feel like it's still a solid enough pick, but instead it's Niles. Hey, you know, I shouldn't be complaining because I was saying I wanted him on a carry. This is a carry that can still kind of frontline. And a Jax lock-in for Yuji.
All right, this is different. It's interesting. It's okay into Vi. As you get resistances when she jumps in, not to mention the counter-strike makes it harder for her to land those denting blows that do pretty good work in the tanks. This is interesting. We've only really seen this be picked into the Xin Zhao, but more games of Jax. They nerfed his E a little bit, so he's a tad weaker, but from the jungle, he's pretty much the same. And we'll have to see what this does this game. I'm kind of interested. It does give you a way to get out of culling and buy combos as Jax, but yeah.
I'd like to make a point here, Cubby. I want to hop in. I'm seeing 3 champions that are going to be auto-attacking from range and kind of throwing damage in. What does Gwen do? What's kind of like her notable ability that she has again? Can you kind of like refresh me?
When Gwen was really OP, people kept on saying Gwen is immune. You know?
Yeah.
You're immune.
I think we're going to see that a lot this game.
Good one, Steve.
There's a lot of the damage that is not going to be affecting that Gwen, and also she can try and shred through the Jax, who the counter-strike does not prevent that ult damage from going through.
Also leans a lot into the side lane priority. So Supernova, I think Akali and Gwen, in theory, you can win both sides into both champions that Maryville is pitching. And if you get Lucian Milio off the ground and get them the mid-game, they can get mid-prio whenever they want with the culling. I think this map setup really good for Supernova to get prio mid and use that to bleed into either side and attack Maryville. I think that's the game plan.
I gotta say, bigger fan of Supernova's draft going into this game too, but let me know what you think, Twitch chat. Maryville University going into this one. Supernova are on the precipice of joining 2 other teams at 4-0 undefeated after week 2 of LCS Spring Split for Challengers. Maryville University hoping to pick up their second series win. This would be their second series in a row, dropping a game in it as Yuji finds Shochi here. Gets the counter-strike. Spyrex coming in. Shochi's in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage. First blood to Yuji.
Slash remake? Anyone?
No, I don't think we can do that in this game. This is not a scrim, Cubby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you sure? It sure as hell looks like a scrim right now.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know, man. You're playing Vi Akali topside. You can't walk. You can't play a top. The level 1 options for Supernova are like zilch. You have no options here. So I think getting caught's pretty bad.
Speaking of options, Zyko's getting options in Hui autos there, stacking up early on the Senna and pushing out Array and Diamond do not start the lane, a little bit lower in their health bars, so it doesn't get too much better for Supernova here.
Oh man, Array missing W. That's as bad as it gets. No, I'm kidding. Scary Jerry gonna burn the heal, try and get some bonus autos off. Wasn't able to get through all the Hellblades, but still, this is how the lane plays very early. Milio, this is why we're seeing the Senna being picked into Milio. Gives you a lot of early options in terms of harass. The Senna actually scales pretty nicely herself.
I like using the early summoner spell for the trades too. We saw that a lot in Champs Queue. You mentioned it earlier in the day. We were both streaming it a lot. Breezy was a player in particular who just used his heal and his barrier as like a level 1 trade skill so that you can just get aggressive, and seeing Scary Jerry do that tells me that Maryville wants to play strong bot side. They want to push this in. They do not want to allow the Lucian Milio to actually take advantage of their strength, which is big bursts, because if they're too low in health bars for that, it's not going to be a good trade for them against the Varus and the Senna.
And they're setting up for the dive. Now, it's a really nice ward being dropped here by Kenvi, so they will have information on this, but it is still level 1 for Array and Diamond. If this wave crashes, this bot lane's over.
Here comes Kenvi. Yuji will spot him. Yuji jumps onto Kenvi now and trades off of him quickly.
That's all we need to do.
Tempo stacked and has the wave here, so that's going to be a plate pretty much to MU, and it's going to be hard for Array to try and farm up here. Does hit level 2 finally, so that's nice, but great start for Maryville's bot lane.
Really well done. This is how the lane plays, and I do want to give Zyko and Scary Jerry some credit. Again, I again thought Zyko actually pretty decent support last year in Challengers. I know that Maryville didn't have the best run, but I thought Zyko was serviceable. Scary Jerry, he's been very much improved since the last time I saw him in Challengers League, and I think he's playing much, much better this split, which is great. Always love when we can have growth arcs here, right, Steve?
I mean, that's the purpose of the entire league, right? This is not something that we watch because we expect to get LCS or any other pro level of gameplay. This is the future of the LCS. These are the players that are developing the skills and getting to the point where they can challenge for spots at the pro division. So obviously we're going to be going a little bit easier on them for decision making and how lanes go, focusing more on where they show promise. And I'm happy they highlighted players like Array, not necessarily known for the heavy laning phase dominance, but more so later on in the game. We saw that in the last time already early on here. Even if you're getting behind in laning phase, that's not necessarily a doomed scenario for Supernova here.
Yeah, Psycho's playing this pretty nice too. Just making sure that he can use the Qs to keep Array and Diamond back, as that's a trade that he'll want back a little bit.
Ooh,
nice
good damage on a Scary Jerry. Ignites in. Array's taking a lot himself. Has to flash away. And they do not kill Scary Jerry. Hits level 4 here, so we'll heal up. Diamond does not have the kill threat. Maybe if Kenvi comes down, they can look to kill Scary Jerry, but very close trades there.
Cozy Campfire might top him off. Also, props to Kenvi. He's really sacrificed a lot in his first couple clears to make sure this bot lane's okay. I do think that this is what they need to do in order to win. As I'm really surprised that Array's actually able to get this wave. Again, that's a timer where I know these bot lanes haven't base, but man, if Yuji's there and they're able to just continually set this Lucian plus Melia behind, I think things go a lot better for Maryville. So it's still a 1K gold lead for them. That's good work early, but I want to see them continue to put their pedal to the metal as this game, they get outscaled in my book. And they're going to need to do a better job than they did last game of making sure that they can snowball these early leads clean and turn it into a victory.
So far, it's an 8 CS lead in the bottom lane. Scary Jerry, this champion makes way more sense to go for that lethality build. Going for the serrated Dirk with the boots early on here, and Array just gets the Kerchiche Shard, along with boots as well, so not too bad. Faisal taking a lot of damage here from Niles in the 1v1. Niles just hit level 6, World Ender popped. That's Ghost out from Faisal.
Gets one auto down. He will get Faisal TP, and will make sure that Yuji is able to secure the grubs, which I think one of the other changes that we've seen with grubs actually helps quite a bit in terms of jungle experience. They give a nice chunk if you are able to take these down. So Yuji going to be able to pick up all 3 on his own. Nearly gets him to level 5. And I will say that Yuji hasn't done as good of a job of snowballing the lead that he had against Kenvi. I feel like the openers that each jungler had, there was an opportunity for Yuji to kind of get up into the face of Kenvi and take some of his top lane camps after what happened bot. I don't think that Yuji has done a good enough job of snowballing that to keep himself ahead. And that is something that, again, Supernova, like their comp as time goes on, gets a lot better. So anything that Maryville can get early while their champs are very strong is very important.
It's kind of tough to see a jungler get that first blood so early at level 1 and then not be able to control a lot of the objectives like this dragon. I mean, gets to grubs, but then goes towards the top clear. It is, I guess, a slightly delayed dragon from Kenvi, all things considered, but he is still hovering down here. Level 5 on the Vi. Trying to bait Zyko and Scary Jerry forward. Scary Jerry's taking a lot of damage, has heal and flash available. They engage on the Zyko, though. Barrier not enough to save the Senna, and support goes down.
I knew that Zyko didn't have flash. Props to Kenvi for getting around that ward, too, and waiting for the Q cooldown to come back. I think that's really good direction from Kenvi, and I'm going to assume Diamond, whoever communicated to him that that ward was there, well played to get around it, as Kenvi secured the dragon, secured a kill bot, gave a pretty nice reprieve to Array and Diamond, who were able to get a good reset, and things are in good shape for the bot side of Supernova. Yes, they're behind on the scoreboard, but these champs need levels to get going. The items are okay. And that stabilization of the bot lane will really help Supernova now be able to focus on their solo laners, make sure they can get ahead. And you can't see Kenvi until now. Zyko, he's down a flash, tries to get to the wall, can't sidestep the Q. Well played from Kenvi. Ray gets the kill, and Supernova, they're very happy with that.
Solid stuff that'll help Array catch back up. World Ender again from Niles. Has flash available. Jumping out of Faisal. Ooh, flash is not the way he necessarily wanted to go, and Faisal will live. Interesting. I think he was trying to get the sweet spot, but I don't think it landed. Or did he get out of the mist? I'm not even sure what happened there.
I think he was maybe trying to guess a dodge or prep the third Q? I'm not sure. I almost want another look.
Still trying to punish Psycho. Yeah, Kenby did not have to flash the last time around, so this time he does flash forward. Scary Jerry trying to get as much damage back as possible. Chain of Corruption will not lock down Kenby long enough. Back-to-back gank bot. Get Supernova a second kill.
Yeah, that's a hell of a timer. And again, like, I remember, funnily enough, Diamond, when he, was playing with FlyQuest, this first iteration of the UG Spyrax in, like, 21 spring, I remember that this team pretty much started topside. UG would power clear. They would, like, give up the first couple drags, like, set up for the first few drags, and, like, it was a very simple game plan. And a lot of that was just, like, the direction that Diamond is able to give two teams is very valuable. I love seeing that with Kenby, a jungler that I think the biggest knock on him in LCS, it was always like, hey, Kenby just doesn't understand the map well enough or can't play the game well enough at, like, this high of a level. Diamond, the only knocks, like, we've had on him is, like, oh, like, mechanically, we don't know if he's good enough to play sport at a high level. In Challengers League, Diamond's always been a fantastic player and a good team leader. And I think that being paired up with Kenby, again, makes a lot of sense to me, this split. And I really hope to see Diamond help them grow. I know that Diamond's played a big role in helping a lot of players grow on his teams throughout the years. Even thinking back to the Dignitas squads, like Xuse in LCS now, like those guys were running rifts early on. I really want to see if that can be. Yeah.
Cool to see Diamond have a great effect. We've heard from a lot of other players referencing that he's helped them grow in their own roles and just learning about the game. And happy to see him with players like Array, especially Shochi and Faisal as well, who are two players that haven't really gotten that chance to punch up into the LCS level and are still chasing those opportunities.
And the two players that are, like, higher up in our list for at least strength in their role, like, I know offseason, a lot of people were hoping to see Shochi maybe get a backdoor opportunity, especially if LCS had 10 teams. Faisal, for me, was a really strong top laner last year. I think was really slept on, as he's going to be under pressure here. Gets the flash out. Niles waiting in the brush, baiting a bonus cooldown out of Faisal. Maybe there's a revisit opportunity, and even just could be enough to set up the 6 grub take. So Maryville going to get 6 grubs. Now, this is a situation, Kangas. I don't think the grubs matter for Maryville this game.
Yeah.
They are going to lose side lanes. They will not be able to hit turrets. I would much rather have the 2 dragons for Supernova in a game where they outscale.
I was about to say, we were talking about that with the Tristana. That makes sense. Tristana's going to be hitting turrets the entire game. I don't see the side of Maryville necessarily having the priority against an Akali and a Gwen to actually walk up to the side lanes and hit them. But it's not bad, and also the Dragon, they have a chance here. 40 seconds till it spawns, so it's not necessarily a trade. It's 6 grubs, and they can still look to contest this Dragon. Spyrax has the package, and he's using it right now to just jump onto Shochi. Flash available for the Akali, and he's got the backup of Kenby right here, so he actually goes forward back into the package burn. Okay, well, Shochi burns a little bit more of his health and gets slowed down, so he cannot look for much more now. I
don't love that from Spyrax or UG either. We talked about the Dragon stack for Supernova. They have one now. The second one spawns shortly.
Ooh,
no package.
Trying to lock down Kenby, who buffers it, goes back in onto UG, gets flash out of the Jax, gets to safety. Shochi jumps back in. One more Shuriken Strike, gets it. Trade of the mid laner for the jungler.
Could have been a little bit cleaner. I think it was a nice bait, nice attempt from Maryville to actually rotate Scary Jerry up there. This stuff said, no jungler, no smite. This goes down. Supernova gets the first 2 Drakes. I'd much rather have that than 6 grubs in this game. I don't know how often Maryville's side laners are actually going to be able to hit the towers and take advantage of the 6 grubs. So I think Supernova getting everything they want early on. This 1k gold deficit, not enough in terms of what I think Maryville needs.
It's not bad, but it might not be enough. Let's see where the gold is, actually. Because I believe that I think we have control of this. Am I putting you on the spot here?
No, we do. Watch this.
We do.
Yeah,
let's see it.
This.
Yeah! I have no idea how this works. I've never once looked at the instructions.
I'm on a website, and I hit a button.
Got it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
Thank you, production.
So we see that Spyrax has the most gold, Niles next, but he's basically tied with Shochi. So it's the Corki with the lead here at the end of the day. And, I mean, Corki can scale decently. You know, you're going to be doing a lot of damage to Squishies.
Spotted.
But speaking of Squishy, Faisal making Niles look squishy here. The World Ender pops. He's got backup from Kenby to Niles with the healing. It's not going to be enough. Faisal jumps forward, snip, picks up the kill.
It's a little bit too easy on the side of Supernova as Niles... I mean, Kenby was spotted. He was clearing out a ward. Niles takes the fight. Unfortunately, not able to get it as he holds on to the flash. He was going to go down in that scenario. Meanwhile, Maryville, they have their jungler bot. Yuji could look for a dive, but Maybe they get to force them off. This would be a nice, honestly, consolation prize for Maryville if they were able to get first brick.
I mean, 6 scrubs. They're going to take this turret on this wave. Absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
Wise for Array and Diamond to back off. There's no chance that they can survive it, especially when Kenby showed topside. Maryville making use of their ability to push in. They've been playing for the strong side bot lane, and they get rewarded for that. That's a almost 40 CS lead now for Scary Jerry.
Yeah, I think that we should, continue to give this bot lane some props. Again, I think that this isn't enough for Maryville, but Scary Jerry and Zyko, they picked 2 pretty aggressive lanes, and outside of the 2 visits from Kenby, they've done okay. They took the first brick. Again, I look at Supernova's comp, and it's really going to come online starting around now. There's a proto bout for an Akali, and when you have a Vi, your ability to attack side lanes and replicate the scenario that we just saw, I saw on the Gwen taking down Niles on the Aatrox with the help of Vi. It's really easy to do for Supernova. So I'm curious to see when we get Lucian Milio mid, because they can usually fight for Cryo. When fights elsewhere, that's a lot of damage.
Big burst damage on the Zyko, flashes away on the Senna. There's Shannon Corruptions from Scary Jerry, and Kenby says, I want him!
TPs.
I'm going to take him. Teleport's coming down from multiple solo laners. Kenby bought the time, the cooldown, jumps back at the Scary Jerry. He's getting needleworked over the wall. Faisal doesn't have the damage to kill. Under the turret, Shochi's diving Spyrax, who will survive. Niles takes the 1v1 against Array, and now can flank the rest of Supernova. Yuji picks up the kill. Diamond in a precarious position. And Maryville just straight up massively in that fight.
That was way too deep from Supernova, as they were playing to go ham there. And unfortunately, the plays got thrown back in their face. Good turnaround here from Maryville. Really the direction from Kenby. I love Kenby, like a mechanical player. Seeing him just polish off Zyko, be like, no, we are going for this, right? I don't care what the numbers are. This support's dead on my screen. He takes it, tries to get the TP to support, but things get really hairy here for Supernova. I don't think they can take this. Yeah, they have to get out.
Array.
Array? Okay.
Yeah, jumping into the Aatrox. I guess maybe he thought that Faisal had the same thought process he did of, look at the Aatrox instead, but...
We didn't see that. Well, okay, that's maybe why things got so haywire. Diamond got split from Array, and Array got one shot by Niles. Array did not play that one as well as he should have. Unfortunately, Supernova, they are back on the map and on the Rift Herald. That was really what started all the action in the first place. That went untouched as we took the fight. Maryville got a lot of gold off that, even though they're going to lose the objective.
Yeah, surprised that they weren't able to get back onto the map to take the objective, but I'm happy you highlight the gold. 3,500 lead is basically the reward for countering Supernova's deep engage onto them in their own jungle, and Dragon's up in 45 seconds, which means that Maryville will be able to utilize this gold lead at that eventual Dragon fight. I feel like Supernova will want this. They still, if they can stack up these Dragons, are feeling fantastic, but I don't know if they're really in a position to actually fight for it anymore.
That is decent news for Spyrax. He's got a lot of gold, and Niles too. I mean, one of the big concerns that I had about this game is that the solo laners do need a gold advantage for Maryville if they want to contest the Gwen Akali. I
want to highlight something.
Yeah?
Yes, a lot of gold, but look at what he purchased with that gold. AP, raw AP is pretty bad on Corki. You want the pen, and he doesn't have it yet. So, yes, he's got a lot of gold, but in terms of actual stats useful on the champion, I don't think he's going to be doing that much damage comparatively to if he had just gone for more AD instead.
It's looking like he's going to go Malignance and just try and utilize the space that Corki has. Well as
which once you get it, sure, but the components for Malignance are not very gold efficient on Corki. Like he's got like 20% scaling or something on his Q and ult.
Yeah, this is a little bit tricky because they have to play with range, but I also think DPS Corki is, I favor that a little bit compared to the poke Corki. That said, doing a return to the current game state. Maryville, they're going to deny the soul. Or at least the soul point. Spyrax has packaged. This is uncontested. Supernova never really thought about contesting this one. Instead, they're just going to trade this for the top powder, get 2 more gold on the Akali. And this is when, the objectives are down. I see a Rift Herald in Supernova's pockets. I see no package now for the Corki. And I'm curious what Supernova wants to do.
I'm curious. Okay, actually, Shochi 1v1 Niles right here after the perfect execution. Away, and Niles flashing forward with the sweet spot. He's still looking for it. He lands a second one. Oh, misses the W. And meanwhile, Faisal killed Spyrax off screen. Niles does continue, commits to the dive, and will claim Shochi's life. Faisal, meanwhile, has the Herald backup from Kenby. They're going to take a turret down here.
Yeah, I know that was off screen, but I see a Vi ult down, and I see no flash available on Spyrax Corki, and I don't really need to see that play to know what happened.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to ride a second one in here.
Really easy to replicate these scenarios when you have something like a Vi. UG, good smite.
Just smites away. Now we have the teleport flank coming in from Niles. No world ender, no flash available for the Aatrox. He's just going in himself.
Nice, UG.
They got Kenvi, though. Kenvi's got no backup, and he will go down. Well played by Maryville. They pincer in and punish the second Herald charge onto the Tier 2 turret.
Love the leap strike from Yuji to make sure that Kenvi hit something as he tried to dash out. Not going to be the case. Good TP from Niles as he turned something with a little bit of advantage that he had. In the top side, of course, we did see him run down Shochi. And Niles, I will say, getting the Hex Drinker, that's going to help a lot. I don't think that Niles can contest Gwen. Maybe he can contest Akali, though. And that would be really big for Maryville to at least have one of these solo lanes that can be winning.
I mean, I love that you say maybe when we just saw him basically solo kill Shochi in the top lane.
Shochi was way too far up, if we're being real, and didn't have help. The real thing is surviving the Vi, which we're going to see how difficult it is for Spyrax here, because Gwen Vi, that lines up the snips pretty easily.
Yep. Thank you, observers, for highlighting how that had happened bot side. As then the Herald goes through, we see the first turret take was clean. I like that Yuji just smites it on the second charge and just prevents Faisal from actually hitting the turret then. Faisal was definitely not expecting that. As we're back to live, though, Chain of Corruption landed onto a Ray here. Ooh, nice good Mega Inferno kick from Diamond to stop the engage from Yuji.
Love how that's called a kick. You just don't see it from Milio in the kit.
I know, right?
You know, Diamond making sure that his marksman is safe, as Array did catch the Chain of Corruptions to start off that play.
Ooh, Yuji was on vision. Didn't realize it, so Kenvi's actually trading into him. And looking at the red buff. Ooh, looking at Zyko, the Senna rotating down. Did not realize he was also, in fact, on vision. Kenvi's just got a personal vendetta against this guy, would appear. And he is constantly flashing into the enemy jungle to punish the squishy Senna.
Dude, I just want to say, man, this was the Kenvi that I really missed in LCS. We didn't get to see him playing fighters and just balling out like this. This guy really does have hands, and I thought that this would be a good combo for Kenvi, because I know that Kenvi as a jungler, he doesn't really talk as much. I think that Diamond is a really good pairing, as Diamond does talk a lot more in the game. And Kenvi, man, he's talented. Like, he has the hands. I mean, some of the clips I have in my highlight reels of Kenvi, like, while he was in Academy, thinking back to, like, some of the Wii Sin Viego games we saw to this guy, were insane. Like, we all kind of thought Kenvi was going to be a really, really strong LCS player. And for me, the biggest thing with him on Immortals, he didn't look confident. I didn't see the same confidence out of Kenvi, the willingness to make plays and trust his hands. And seeing moments like that, I mean, that's someone who's trusting his hands, man. Like, we're going in, and he's holding it, doing everything right. Mechanically, that's the gameplay I've come to expect out of Kenvi the time I've seen him at Challengers. I didn't see nearly as much of that in LCS, and I really hope to see a confident Kenvi come back, because this guy, he's got game, and I want to, you know, have a lot of people that now know him from LCS see that and see what he can bring to the table.
Kenvi Unleashed is what we want to see here on the Rift, but Maryville currently the one still in the lead. I want to highlight them because they are sieging turrets. They're utilizing the grubs that they picked up early on. And they're, teleporting top side. Spyrax preventing Faisal from trading a turret for himself. And we're 3,000 gold ahead. Dragon's up in 42 seconds.
Yeah, Spyrax can fix this lane, and then I believe he'll have package available.
He will not. I don't believe so, because he packaged immediately after the dragon went down. I believe you have to do it before, unless my timer's off.
No, you are correct. I believe it is a 5-minute cooldown. And
I specifically noticed. Noticed dragon went down, then he packaged, so he will not be able to pick it up before dragon spawns.
Yeah, he can't TP in either, so this could be
one. He's got Hex Gates, so maybe that can help him.
It can be one where this might be a little bit more Supernova favored, as we see Array. Really
good damage coming out. The Culling to just chunk out Scary Jerry, who had the Chain of Corruption. Kenvi does lose about half of his health bar too, though. Faisal's on the flank right there. Now we see Spyrax backing on the minimap. So Maryville with the Senna, they actually can kind of sustain through this and probably feel just fine about it. Dragon's up, though, and
he's got package now.
Not there.
No, he's got package now, though.
Can he make it in time? The Hex Gate's there. He's going to be packaging in from over the wall. Maryville are walking up. They're ready. The game plan is clear, but it's not in time. Maybe they can get the fight after the fact.
Yeah, I think they won it. Spyrax took a really aggressive angle.
Though. They were just 2 seconds too slow, and I got to go back. If Spyrax had simply ulted as Dragon went down or right before the Dragon went down, that play would have worked. But you got to be ready to make those Gorky timers.
I just love how you called it ult. Also, I mean, I think that if he saved the TP from going to that top timer, like, you can pick it up as Dragon spawns and then TP in instead. That package, it goes to the wayside. And now that timer's way off, so you can't use it for the Baron either. That's a really big dodge for Supernova.
Use the Shochi.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah, I mean, a nice attempt there. You want to use it at some point. Again, it's not going to be timed with the dragon anymore. That next dragon, as it spawns package, will be not even available for the dragon fight, and that's the soul fight. So now we're diving Scary Jerry underneath Tier 2 when Tier 1's still available, but he does flash to safety. He gets out of there. He's alive. Supernova now looking at the outer turret mid. Will get it. I also have to teleport in. World Ender in. Spyrex jumping forward to try and get that damage down. Will pepper Faisal. Array's going to be the focus, though, and they got him! Yuji!
Flash
just
too.
Popping the Lucian.
They should start it. Maryville needs to start this and draw in Supernova. I want to see them hit this Baron.
Teleport flank from Shochi. They see it. And they're all going to jump on him instead. It's the Akali. Hard to actually lock down the ninja assassin lady. She has the smoke screen. Yuji does not land the stun. Shochi's just buying time for the team. He has been given up on. They say, no, we cannot save you, friend. Oh, and I'm looking. Faisal didn't even correct the bot wave. He's actually running up, even though he has TP.
He can't. I mean, he's got to afford it. No, he has to. He has to stay. Maryville has to draw on this Baron. That was a bad TP from Shochi as he got shoved in a locker by everyone from Maryville working together. Now they're on the Baron. They can hold this choke. I think Niles is in a good spot. Kenvi is around, though. He's not spotted right now.
Niles trying to stop Faisal from getting in. Kenvi's over the wall. Got some vision. Kenvi's just a second too late. Baron buff secured for Maryville. Niles will sacrifice his life for it. Can Faisal get more? The needlework does not land there. So the chase should be over. Flash from Kenvi. Doesn't land the cease and desist, and he just gets popped. The range advantage of Maryville, if they can kite you back, cannot be understated. Now Diamond all alone as Yuji will chase down the poor little Melio on a rampage. Maryville get the Baron and a couple kills to boot.
Yuji is bopping people on this jungle Jax. Everyone is trying to go in. Yuji, it feels like he's really buying space for his team. The amount of damage that he's dealing is significant as well. Take another look. And this Baron was melting down. Diamond does a nice job of trying to get vision for Kenvi as he drops a ward outside of the range of that control ward and then throws down a control ward. So it's pretty well tracked, like where the Baron damage is at. But Kenvi just jumps in a little bit too late. He was charging up his Q a little bit late. Array contributes to the damage. Yuji gets it. Then watch Yuji on the back half of this with a Sundered Sky. Able to heal up and take down the right targets. I think it's really well done by Yuji.
The team zigs, he zags. Diamond does not expect a Jax to be over this wall as he's trying to back up Array going forward. Nobody has vision on Yuji, so yeah, he just takes advantage of the lack of information that Supernova's playing with.
Hold on. That's a really good vision pocket being held. Supernova not respecting that. Maryville, I gotta say, I had this game being really Supernova favored as this game continued. I think that their ability to attack in the side lane is... I was expecting that, but Maryville, they're grouping up. And if you group up with a Corki, it kind of dictates the pace of the game. They've got 6 grubs that can rip through these turrets, and they just really have to deny the upcoming dragon, and Maryville are actually in really good shape.
If they group up, they can hit turrets. We were saying about the side lane not being in their favor, but the grubs are making a lot of work with the Baron buff on top of them. They will take the middle inhibitor here. Kenvi's on the flank, but there's no shot of him actually taking that. As Niles and Faisal seem to be fighting a little bit on the side lane there.
It should be very Faisal
actually, wait, Niles did just use World Ender. It should be up before the dragon's up, though, so he'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, even so, I don't know how much Maryville can actually contest this upcoming dragon.
I don't think they can without package.
Also, Kenvi, they want to kill Niles. He does not have flash, and he is dead on my screen.
He's got no World Ender either. Kenvi,
got
to pull the trigger here quick. Niles does drop the ward down. Kenvi will be spotted. Now he knows he's spotted, and he says, we're out. Okay.
Maybe they were trying to look for a kill where you don't have to use Viol.
Oh, I like this. Spyrax actually stuck around. There's no package to back for anyway, so they just have a death rush. Kenvi does not realize it. Kenvi walks forward and just gets popped.
Oh, man. Diamond's not on the map. I think that you got to catch the wave before you can afford to do that, or just let it come to you. Is now Yuji.
Oh, does it become worse, though? Oh, Array in trouble. Has to flash away.
Jeez.
Run to safety. Maryville might even look to end the game right here. They don't have Baron buff, but they have a super minion and the 6 grubs to play with. Shochi gonna have to make some magic happen right here. Goes to the smoke screen. Damage onto Yuji. Takes one turret shot. Faisal starts snipping. Need to work Yuge. They're clearing the wave. Maryville do not have a wave to play with anymore. The next one's coming through. Faisal jumps forward. And I think Supernova have delayed the game, and Maryville did not have enough minions to actually push.
Yeah, Faisal baited out quite a bit there in terms of just cooldowns. I saw a Chain of Corruption fly by him. So nice sidestep by Faisal to react to that. Dragon will go over to Maryville, but honestly, Supernova somewhat survived the onslaught. The gold lead got really big for Maryville now. A 7k gold, that's pretty significant in this game. And I think that Supernova, like, they just haven't committed to the side lane plays the way I was hoping to see them. Like, when the Vi was attacking the side with the Gwen, like, that is the win condition, right? And I think that the Vi never attacked the side with the Akali. They didn't take advantage of the strength of the Akali, so now Akali's just kind of out of the game. Akali can't do anything in Aatrox Jax in the current state. She needs to get penned, which Shochi is not building. I think that going back, if I was going to change anything as Supernova, I would try and attack the Akali lane as the Vi, and then things could have gotten a lot easier for you as this game moved forward.
If you're ahead on the Akali, but now, I mean, we see the nerfs to the itemization anyway. The Storm Surge not doing quite as much, less AP that you're packing in that, so it just doesn't feel as good to be. I mean, it never feels good to be a full item down over your lane opponent in any scenario, but it feels even worse now with the current state of things. So Shochi, not the main character of this one. I'm looking at Faisal. I'm looking at the Gwen. The Gwen's going to have to do a lot of damage in these fights, and I'll tell you something. I've seen Faisal make this champion look absolutely busted in seasons past. Can he do it here?
I don't know. Kind of a big deep breath here, Kangas, before we get into the later stages of this one. I still think this is the play. Just play committed with Vi. Okay.
Niles has Flash and has the World Under this time around, so they can't actually lock him down permanently. And they're not going to lock him down at all. Niles will absorb the dive attempt, and it was a nice little look for Supernova, but they're not going to do it fast enough. And now they got to catch the Supers mid. Baron's up in 40 seconds. And I'm wondering if Spyrax, I don't see the indicator in the mini-map, but he should have package here soon if it's not already up.
Potentially. It looks like he's grabbing it right now, honestly, or it could be.
Yeah, I didn't see him use it for the Dragon. I think he's just waiting for it because 20 seconds till Baron. Yeah. Pick it up, go for a fight, take the Baron, or if you just ace them at the fight, take the game end.
I can tell by the speed he's coming out of base that he's got it.
Yep. And I can tell that's good news for Maryville University as they will start the Baron up on spawn. Supernova don't have Faisal with them yet. He's going to go for another bag, try to pick up a fourth item. Does he actually have one completed? We won't get to see. He's just going to teleport in. Supernova need to get to this Baron. They need to either take the fight or the steal. Does Kenby have it in him? He looked for this earlier. He didn't get it. Will he have redemption? Wait for the timer. You have the control ward there. Nobody's going for the fight. Nobody's going for the turn. Yuji's keeping on the Baron. As Kenby will actually walk from the runway approach. Jumps over the wall, has a blast cone, will take it, does not get the smite steal. Yuji secures the buff. Flash from Kenby. Shochi in trouble. Faisal in trouble. Maryville can chase down the members of Supernova. And it's looking like a victory for Maryville University. They get the big purple worm. A couple kills to boot. Should be enough. Faisal's doing massive damage, but it's not enough. Doesn't get a kill traded for his life. Maryville can just walk these waves in.
The Barons are so strong for Maryville, just enabling them to stay grouped up and really not be threatened by what I was expecting to be, the pincer plays coming in from the side laners in Supernova. The gold. Faisal, he had it all. He's down. Maryville could look to end.
I think they want that right here, right now. Supernova will need to mount the defense at the Nexus turrets, but look at all those Void Grubs running at the turrets. Those are not long for this world. Kenby jumps forward, and again, just instantly deleted. Maryville University weather the storm. They get the snowball rolling, 11k gold lead, and they will even the series 1-1, giving Supernova their first loss of the spring split.
Wow, I honestly pleasantly surprised by Maryville that game. I know we were kind of waiting to see what the Jungle Jax would look like. Yuji did work in that one. And when the Akali, when the Gwen can't take you down, that Jax got so big. Looking back, I think the Jax was a fantastic pick from Yuji. He wasn't able to get quite as much done earlier, maybe support and dive bot as much as like a Poppy would, but man, the raw damage that Jax brought in fights later, and also just the durability, way too much for the side of Supernova to deal with.
and the decision making. Again, I look back to that play with the first Baron that they took. They were disengaging. He loops around, hides behind the wolf wall, and is able to assassinate then Diamond and just keep the play going after the fact. Really well played by the members of Maryville University. With that said, we're going to send it to a short break. It's even 1-1 on the scoreboard. Who takes the series? We'll find out right after this.
Before this guy won this, he actually won this. And now these guys, they're trying to do the same.
He's looking for the killer instinct. He's going
Basu.
in. He finds 2. He finds 3.
Basu, you are utterly ridiculous. This guy is also trying to do what that guy did. And he didn't win one of those, but he did win this.
Welcome to the new era. A toast to our champions, Disguised.
This guy played one split of LCS and then made semis at Worlds.
It's been a long journey, but I'm happy to be here now.
He's always been really good, but he finally made the comeback. Oh, and he did it with this guy. This guy won Academy, and he had some dreams.
I want to be like the best NA mid laner to go to Worlds, right?
Dokla, however, very, very low. Reinforced by the Zen ultimate, and the Pop Blossom is so awesome!
This kid? Yeah, this kid. He actually didn't win an Academy, but a lot of people thought he was good, and boy, were they right. This guy made Worlds his very first year as a player. It took him a while to get back. He even played with this kid.
They're going to be able to burst him down. He's trying to be able to get away with the help from the Hollow Ground, but he just can't. Tony got fused. He's wild growth, and they got the kill they need to.
But then, they did all of this together.
Walking into the brush, Contract is ready to go. Dokla follows it up, and the helicopter crash lands. Contract gets the 4th kill of the game there for Energy.
You know all of these names, but do you know the names of who's next? The future of the LCS starts right after the LCS. Welcome to Challengers League.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.